Good morning, everybody. It is Saturday, May the 2nd. I am joining you from my front porch this morning with a lovely cup of coffee while Ember is taking a nap. I was kind of feeling like needed to vary the content on the channel a little bit, so I decided I was gonna share a kind of just sort of chit chat, catch up sort of a video today. I don't really have anything major to talk about, but just life in general can sometimes be a little bit challenging, and other times it can be great. So just wanted to, share a little bit of life updates, what's going on here, how we're all doing, and reach out to all of you and see how all of you are doing through all of this craziness and stress and uncertainty. Well, let's go ahead and have a coffee talk. Boy, oh boy. These past few weeks, I can't even say how crazy they have been. It's just been a whirlwind since like mid-March. I just feel like the whole world just started to collapse out from underneath me between work and Ember's changes. And she's just growing up so fast. It's like I get to a point where I feel like everything is finally on an even keel. And then all of a sudden, boom, something else happens. And it's just another wrench thrown into the mix. And in this particular case, she went through a nap transition from 3 naps down to 2, and then like right on the coattails of that nap transition went into the 9-month sleep regression, which actually started for her around 8 months. So we have been dealing with sleep issues with her now for probably somewhere in the realm of 8 to 10 weeks, and I am just exhausted. I don't know what baby girl's problem is. Her day sleep is so not an issue. She goes down for her naps, no problem. They're basically by the clock every single day. I don't really have to worry about any of that. So that's fantastic. The problem comes at nighttime. And that's when I really struggle because I'm tired and, I've worked all day if it's a Tuesday through Friday, on top of childcare responsibilities with a now toddler who is getting really mobile, very curious and inquisitive, and just wanting to be in everything. And it's great for me. I really enjoy seeing her, and it's a lot of fun seeing her do all of these things. It's super exciting, but it's overwhelming when my work requires such deep attention and focus a lot of the time. And when my attention is constantly being broken away every 30 minutes or so because I need to go give Ember some attention, it can make my days really frustrating. And then by the time I get to the nighttime, I really just want to decompress, relax, get to sleep, and have a good solid quality night's sleep. I'd be okay with 6-7 hours of quality sleep, but it's been really broken and interrupted. At night, Ember has been fighting going down to bed. She gets really clingy at nighttime, which I know she's going through a separation anxiety phase right now, and that's totally normal and developmentally appropriate, and I get it. But it's hard with Sean's work schedule and working nights. He's asleep during the day, so I have some support during the daytime, but not hugely so. And At nighttime, of course, he's several nights a week not here. So a lot of those nighttime responsibilities also fall onto my shoulders. And the nights that he is home, I kind of boxed myself into a corner and was really kind of controlling with those nights because um, I don't pump well. I don't have a good history with expressing milk, so I get really anxious whenever he has to make a bottle. And since I'm home and having to nurse her all of the time, it makes it challenging to find time to pump, because anything that I pump, I'm taking away from her. So I haven't really been allowing him to help on the nights when he's home for that reason. So it's like a combination of factors, my own fault, and also just a natural function of our work schedules, and also just Emperor's personality. Right now, she's all about mom. She will go to daddy sometimes, but most of the time, she really just wants to be consoled by mom. Hey, Dario boy, where'd you go? So she's been fighting going down at nighttime. She has been generally only staying asleep for at most 2.5 hours. More commonly than not, it's probably closer to 90 minutes at a clip that she's sleeping. So I mean, that could mean that she's waking up as many as 3 times a night, and she's at this point 9.5 months old. So it's a little bit frustrating, especially when she was sleeping through the night perfectly fine from like 6 months to her 3 month, or her 3 2 nap transition. Sorry, when she transitioned from 3 naps down to 2, um, was kind of when all of this started. So I'm not sure if she's just going through a phase, and this is still the 9-month sleep regression, because I know that that can last quite a while, although the longest I've seen is 6 weeks. So maybe, depending on what the true timing was for it starting, we could possibly still be in the midst of that. But it feels like it's been forever, and frankly, I'm ready for it to be over because I'm tired and I just want to sleep. So that's that story. Other than that, Ember is doing really great, though. I thought part of her sleep disturbance issues a couple weeks ago, she seemed to be in pain. I thought maybe she was getting one of her first molars. Just the way she was acting, it kind of seemed like she was getting ready to cut another tooth, but I haven't seen anything come of that really. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that that's not the case. She's also now developed a second speed when crawling. If she gets really excited about something and sees something that she wants, she will just start and go so much fast. Oh, it's so cute to see how fast she goes. I'll have to see if I can get some video of her gearing up because I think it's really funny. She's also been starting to cruise on things. She's been pulling up on furniture for a while now, and Sean installed that pull-up bar, which I don't think you guys have actually seen too much of on the vlogs yet, but there's some footage that I have of that actually getting installed that'll be coming up sometime in the future. And so maybe part of her sleep issues is just that she wants to practice her motor skills more. I know that she's really into her gross motor skills practice during the daytime. So I'm thinking that that could possibly have something to do with it, but I don't know. She can't talk. She can't tell me what's wrong. So I get really frustrated when I just don't understand what she needs. And I feel sometimes like I am failing at meeting her needs, and that I'm just really being too hard on myself, really, when I'm thinking about it, because she is a baby. She can't communicate her needs, she can't verbalize those to me. And it can be challenging at times to know what an infant needs. So you kind of just go down the list: diaper, food, burp, whatever, until you find the thing. And sometimes it's just still not that obvious. Sometimes they just want to cry. Sometimes they just are having a bad day and just want a little bit of extra love. And I think for me, those can be the most challenging times, because it can take a lot of energy to just show that level of love and compassion when it's the middle of the night and you're exhausted. During the daytime, my biggest challenge with doing that is just the balance between giving her what she needs and giving my work the attention that that requires as well. So it's always towing a fine line. The work balance thing I'm finding is not a real thing. Like, it's this concept that people talk about, but work is life. And especially now, when work is invading our homes, because those of us who are working, unless you are like a healthcare worker or in a grocery store or a factory worker or something along those lines, you're probably not going into work. And if you're able to work, you're working remotely. So now you have your workspace encroaching on your home life. Those boundaries are blurred. Maybe you have kids who are school aged, and on top of having to do your own work, you're also in the position of a teacher and a lunch lady and all of these other things that your kids typically have fulfilled by other people during the day when they're out of the house and you're otherwise working and on your own time. And I think a lot of us are struggling in some way or another with this new dynamic that we find ourselves in now that the federal social distancing guidelines have expired. Maybe some of that stress will start to release because people won't feel so much added pressure. But I also think that there could be some other stresses that come along with these guidelines now expiring, and that certain people might have some anxiety over that. So it's a lot. We're all going through a lot. It's an overwhelming situation. And one of the things that I'm really trying to learn how to do and trying to remind myself to practice on a daily basis is self-compassion, being kinder to myself. I recently started seeing a doctor for help with some of my anxiety symptoms. And one of the things that he and I were discussing in a recent visit was how, if a friend comes to you with a problem, you don't get all judgmental and shut them down and tell them that they're being silly or stupid for feeling stressed or sad or angry or whatever they might be going through in that moment. No, you show them compassion, you empathize with them. You tell them, oh my God, I can't imagine what you're going through, but if I were in the same situation, I'm sure I'd feel the same way as you. You're totally justified in feeling the way that you do. And, oh, that's so unfair. All these kinds of things we say to other people. But then when we turn the mirror around and we put it back on ourselves, it becomes this, let me just beat up on myself. And, we're just a lot more quick to judge what we're experiencing on our own and in our own heads than we are when we're expressing support of others. And so, really just hearing that and reflecting on recent events that have happened in my life with friends that I've been communicating with, who have been supporting me and that I have been trying to support in different ways. And it's so true, it is so much easier to just be kind to somebody else, whether you're doing it because it's just the social grace and that's what you were taught to do, or if you have maybe a little bit more emotional intelligence than that and you're truly doing it because you're a good friend, it's altruistic, and you really do feel for that person. There's different cases for every situation. It can just be one of those things where we just need to have a little bit more patience, a little bit more grace towards ourselves. And it's hard. It's something that I do struggle with frequently. I find myself beating myself up over really silly things and getting down over things that, when I really think about in the big picture, taking a step back and trying to see the forest for the trees, what does this really mean for my life? And at the end of the day, most of these situations are relatively minor. In the moment, it might seem like a gigantic mountain, but at the end of the day, it's really not that big of a deal. It will pass. You'll get over it. The feelings will pass. But in that moment, it's okay to feel what you're feeling. And that's the nugget of wisdom that I'm really trying to marinate on, is that it's okay to have emotions. I've also been, on the nights that he's home, allowing him to take on more of the responsibilities with Ember. And I say allowing because, again, the reason that he hasn't been doing these things on the nights that he has been home is because I haven't been comfortable with him making bottles. So if she woke up in the middle of the night and needed to nurse, I was always getting up and doing it. And even now, I will still tell him that I would prefer for him not to make a bottle. So on the nights when I kind of leave him in charge, he'll go through the process, if she wakes up, of trying to reset her and get her back to sleep without a bottle. And then if he's gotten to a point where he's been trying to get her back to sleep for like a half hour, 45 minutes, and has been unsuccessful and she's still crying, then he'll come and get me and I'll nurse her rather than him making a bottle. This way he kind of has an opportunity to try and get her down. She has an opportunity to get back to sleep without mommy's help, and hopefully lessen that separation anxiety that she's going through a little bit, and kind of allow me to at least sleep a little bit longer. Usually I can hear her crying and am awake by this point anyway. But it's just one of those kind of considerations that has been making a small but positive difference. Another thing that I've started doing that has been helping me feel at least a little bit better is, even though I haven't been sleeping all that soundly throughout the entire night, I've at least been getting better quality sleep in the moments when I am asleep between Ember's night wakings. I found this YouTube video, and I've used different like meditation and mindfulness apps for this in the past, and I found for one reason or another they never really worked. But this particular YouTube video, I actually really enjoy, and I'll link it down below if anybody's interested in checking it out. So that video has been really helpful. Just the better quality sleep. I've still been waking up and feeling tired, and I get pretty fatigued by the end of the day, but in general, I feel better, so that's good. It would just be nice to get a solid 6 to 7 hours of sleep in a night. That would be absolutely fantastic. I miss those days. Other things that are going on, not too much. We're still under stay-at-home orders in our state, so not too much going on. It was weird because last weekend, Ember and I had to go to Target just to pick up a few things that we needed around the house, and we had been the week prior, and I mean, last week was a totally different experience than the week before. They had started limiting the number of people who were allowed in the store, so we had to wait online to even get in the store to start shopping. There's this really loud bird behind me, guys. I'm sorry if you can't hear me because it's drowning me out. Really pretty, but very loud. Anyway, so we were stuck waiting outside the store, and it probably, I don't know, took us maybe half an hour or so before we were finally allowed in. So that was an unusual new experience. It was kind of the first time that I really felt any sort of shift. I mean, yes, I've been working remotely, and everybody in our office has been working remotely, and the news has been really crazy, but my work schedule before all of this was primarily remote anyway, so that wasn't a particularly huge change. And I don't know, just in general, it just didn't really feel like all that much was happening here. I'm kind of removed from it. I work in healthcare, but I don't directly work with patients or in a healthcare setting. I work on the administrative side of things. So having that bit of distance maybe makes it, perception wise, seem like it's maybe not that bad. But then, having that experience at Target, having to wait outside, and I mean, normally on a Saturday, Target is packed. Like, you go and the lines at checkout are like wrapped around the store. Like, people go to Target because who doesn't like shopping at Target? They get all my money. But it was just totally different. There was hardly anybody in the store. Even the number of employees was fewer than normal. And it really didn't seem like anybody was spending a lot of time just lingering and just kind of doing any sort of unnecessary browsing of things. They were kind of like, this is my shopping list, these are the things that I need, and I'm going to get in and get out, which is good. I mean, during the social distancing time, you don't want to unnecessarily be out and about, especially if people are having to wait to even get into the stores to shop, because you don't want to inconvenience others too much either. But I don't know, like, it was just really the first time that I had to take a step back and be like, wow, like, things are really different now. I know early on in the pandemic, I had the brilliant idea to watch the movie Contagion. I had watched it before all of this happened, and I just thought it was an interesting movie just in general. But then to watch it while all of this was going on simultaneously was a really interesting kind of a comparison. But it's just kind of scary how some of these things that we thought were only Hollywood are now kind of more of our reality. And sort of trying to reconcile how that fantasy is now kind of our reality. It's one of those weird, it's almost like a crossover sort of a situation where, like, you see a character on the page of a book and all of a sudden they're stepping out of the book into real life. You know what I'm trying to say? That's how this feels to me. Um, it's a very kind of surreal sort of situation. In some aspects it feels very real and very scary, and in other ways it still feels like some sort of weird fever dream, like this isn't real life. So I don't know. That's just where I've been at. How have you all been feeling? What have your thoughts been, and how have you been coping? What sorts of things have you and your family at home been struggling with? What's been positive that's been helping you to get through all of this? Be interested to hear. There's those of you out there watching this who are in different regions of the country. Um, it's mostly my family, hello, and friends, thanks for watching, who are viewing these videos. We care about you all. You're far away. We wish that you were here. One of the other things that I've been struggling with is thinking about Ember's birthday is coming up. We are now in May. She's almost 10 months old, and so her first birthday is coming up, and I'm starting to think about planning her party. I have a few ideas. I think they're really cute, and I'm really excited to really get planning underway. But I'm also nervous because I just don't know what's going to happen. Are we going to be able to actually have a party for her? Are you guys actually going to be able to come and visit us and be here, or are we going to have to try and do something from a distance? I don't know. And that's making thinking about planning challenging, because I don't want to buy a bunch of party supplies and decorations and food and all of that stuff to have people come, and then not be able to do anything. So I'm kind of toying with the idea of planning as though we're going to have something in person, but also having a contingency plan in place so that if for some reason or another we get to July and we're not able to do an actual party for her, that we can still celebrate the occasion together. So that's something that I'm in the process of workshopping, and I'm looking forward to sharing more of those details with you all. I'm really looking forward to her birthday party. I want it to be really cute and really special, and I think I'm definitely gonna get some decorations and like make a cake and do fun stuff like that. I just don't want to go too crazy. I don't know. I'm trying to think what else we have going on, and it's just really not all that much. We're starting to plan for our yard and things that we're going to be doing over the coming months. We are gearing up to have a fencing company come out and take a look at our yard and do some surveying and give us an estimate for a fence finally, which will be really nice. We also are going to be looking into getting a shed for the yard to store some of our yard work equipment and like my bird seed and that kind of stuff. We are also starting to think about what we're going to do for different improvements in our yard. One of the things that I've been really wanting to do is to get a fire pit. But I'm not talking like one of those standalone fire pits. Like I want to do like a nice, maybe like a brick or stone patio that has like a built-in fire pit, and maybe, like built-in benches. We have in our backyard it's like a flat area in a corner, and then like a berm that goes up and back. And I'm thinking, well, maybe if we use that added height to our advantage, we can maybe build up a little bit and do like some raised beds that merge into some benches, and then maybe do like, I don't know, a wooden like pergola or something like that that goes over the top, and then have some, we'll do different plants and herbs and things in the boxes, the raised beds, and then have some, I don't know, maybe some other roses or some flowering viney plant grow up the pergola that we might have. I don't know. We're toying around with ideas. We're thinking about all of this stuff. I'm starting to get really excited about it. I'm hoping that these improvements will start to increase the value of our house. Not that we're really looking to move anytime soon, but it would be nice to start working on that kind of a thing and thinking about possibly relocating at some point in the future. That's it. That's really all I had to say today. I just wanted to kind of sit down, chit chat, catch up with you all about what's going on in our lives, and reach out to all of you, see how you're doing. Let me know down in the comments, or send me an email. You can send an email to momandminnieinfo@gmail.com. And as always, any ideas for videos or any suggestions for some content that you would like for me to create for you guys, I do this channel for you, so I can make it better if you guys tell me what it is you want to see. Please share that down below. And yeah, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. I hope you enjoy the weekend. I have another kind of different video that's going to be coming up for you. As you can see, my face has been kind of broken out, so I think I want to do kind of a skincare rehab video with you guys. So let me know if that's something that you would be interested in seeing. And yeah, we will see you in our next video. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed, give us a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing to join our family. We hope you all are staying well and that you're being safe, and we send our love. See you next time. Thanks again. Bye.